Hello, in this video, I'm gonna show you the first things that I recommend doing after setting up your Samsung Galaxy A26. My Samsung Galaxy A26 was just set up, and let's begin by the most important things that we should do, and later on I'm gonna move on to some customization and enabling some features that will be helpful in everyday life. Let's begin by connecting to Wi-Fi if you haven't done that. Most probably you already have, but it'll be needed for some further steps. So go to Settings, then Connections, Wi-Fi, and if you don't have any current network connected, make sure that Wi-Fi is on and select a network you want to connect to, then enter its password and it'll be done. Now, going back to the main page of settings, let's scroll all the way down to Software Update. Updating your phone is very important for security, for making sure your phone runs smoothly, and also to have the newest features. So let's update it at the very beginning of using our phone. Click on Download and Install, and then it'll start checking for software updates, and if it finds any, you'll have a button to download and install the updates. And as you can see, it starts downloading the update. In the process of downloading, you can continue using your phone, you can do anything that you want, but later on you will be prompted about restarting your phone, so you can either restart it now or schedule it. And after that's done, by the way, the restart will take a bit longer than usual. After the restart is completed, the update will be applied and you will be able to continue using your phone. Now the update was just downloaded, so you can click on Install Now and wait for the phone to restart. And the phone was just updated, so just need to unlock it and continue with the next step, which will be signing into Google account. Most probably you already have done that, but if you haven't, then it's great to do it now, since it will be needed for the further step, which will be updating apps in the Google Play Store. But also adding your Google account is great for your security, since if your phone gets lost or stolen, you will be able to track it by signing into your Google account on a website and tracking your phone with Find My Device service, and then you can track it to either play sound from it if it's somewhere near you but you just can't locate it, or to lock it if it got stolen or lost, or to erase it. So let's go to the settings and then accounts and backup. Now you will see manage accounts, then add account. Now select Google. Of course, add the Google account if you don't have any Google accounts listed here, because if you have, then you don't have to add another one, right? So let's select the Google. So I think that the Google account adding doesn't work right now, and it's because it is updating. The phone was just set up, so it just needs to perform some updates, and after that it should be available. but I'm just gonna try closing the settings and reopening them until I can manage to add the account. But if you're performing things from this video later after setup, not 5 minutes after setup, then probably it'll be fine. Yeah, now it's checking information, so I will be able to enter my email and the password. Let's begin by the email. Of course, if you don't have an account, you can click on Create Account. Then click on Next and enter the password, which I'm gonna do off camera. Then click on Next, and you'll be asked who will be using this device, and you can select whether it's you or your child. And if you select that your child will be using this device, then probably the further steps may vary a bit, but I'm gonna select that I will be using it since I think it's more universal. Most people set up phones for themselves. So let's click on Next. Then you need to agree to Google Terms of Service, Google Play Terms of Service, and the privacy policy. Without that, you can't really continue. You can click on this blue text to actually read these policies and click on Agree. Then it asks you if you want to backup your device data, and you can unselect it or select it, but I would highly recommend leaving that selected so you don't lose your data in case anything happens to your phone. You can later on just restore it from the backup. Let's click on Accept, and now the account is added, so we can go to the Google Play Store, as I said, to update the apps. Updating your apps is important for the very same reason as updating your phone, but also some apps just won't work without an update. Go to Play Store, then click on Get Started. It may ask you to download some apps. I'm gonna skip it. Then you can select whether you want to use password or biometrics to verify your purchases on Play Store. So if something is paid on the Play Store, then you need to verify it with either Google account password or your phone's biometrics, but I don't have biometrics set up just yet. I'm gonna show you that in a moment, how to set up your biometrics. So I'm gonna use the password. Now I'm in, so I can click on the profile icon in the top right corner and click on My Apps and Games. Then you'll see updates. I'm gonna click on Update All because I actually want to update everything so everything works correctly. And we can continue with the next step. You can continue using your phone in the process of updating. So let's set up the screen lock and the fingerprints. You can go to the settings, then in the settings find security and privacy. Then lock screen, and if you have swipe or none, then I would highly recommend setting a PIN, pattern or password for a big enhancement to your security. But if you do so, then please make sure that it's something that you won't forget. In case you forget your PIN, password or pattern, you will need to erase your whole phone and all your data will be deleted. So make sure that you remember it. Although I still think that it's worth it, because with the PIN, pattern or password, no one else besides you will have access to your private data. I'm gonna select a pattern, then just draw it. Now I need to click on continue and confirm it, then click on confirm. And now I'm also asked what to do with the lock screen notifications, and I'm gonna hide the content. So if my phone is locked, then I will see the names of the apps from which the notifications I've gotten and the amount of notifications that I've gotten from a certain app, but I won't see the content. So let's click on done, and now go to screen lock and biometrics. I'm gonna enter my screen lock, and here we have the face recognition and fingerprints. And I'm gonna set the fingerprint first because about the face recognition I will talk about in a moment. So fingerprints, just click on it, then click on continue. I think it's pretty secure and very convenient. So click on register, then the fingerprint sensor is on the power button. So most probably right-handed people will use the right thumb, and left-handed people most probably their left index finger or left middle finger. But feel free to choose whichever finger you like. Then start tapping on it and then moving it slightly across this reader as I'm doing it right now, just to capture the whole fingerprint, so no matter how you touch it, it'll always be unlocked. And now click on done. Now let's test out the fingerprint. It's recognized, so I can click on done. Then go back, and here is the face recognition, which I don't recommend setting up because it's not really secure. As you can see on this phone, it only bases on the camera, not on an IR sensor. There are phones on the market that base on IR sensors, but this one doesn't belong to that group, so it makes it pretty unsecure since it can be unlocked with a photo of you or by someone who looks similar to you. That's why I wouldn't recommend doing so. Although if you really need it, you can set it up by just selecting this option, then looking straight into your phone for a moment, and it'll be done. Now let's get to the next thing, but before that I'm gonna show you how to unlock your phone with these two methods. So with fingerprint, your screen doesn't even have to be on. You can just tap on the fingerprint sensor and it's unlocked. And with the screen lock, just press on the power button or tap on the screen. No, it actually didn't work. So press on the power button, swipe up and enter your screen lock. Pretty simple. Now, as you can notice, on this phone there are just a few apps that you may not need. These are called the bloatware, and I know they seem quite useful, so you can leave them if you feel like it, but there is the Facebook, Spotify and TikTok, which aren't essential for your phone. So if you want to keep them, feel free to do it, but if you want to uninstall them, press and hold, click on uninstall and click on OK. Also, in the Microsoft folder, all of these apps are also bloatware. So if you want to uninstall any of those, feel free to press and hold on it. Then OneDrive actually can be uninstalled, but LinkedIn surely can. So I'm gonna uninstall it, and that's how you manage your phone. Now, speaking of management, let's add the payment card to the phone. Adding the payment card will let you pay with your phone in stores by tapping it to the reader, so you don't have to reach out to your wallet to take your card. You don't even have to have your wallet with you, and your phone doesn't even have to have any internet connection. You can just open the Google Wallet app whenever you want, once that payment card is added, and tap it to the reader. And it is pretty secure since it's bank authorized and requires your phone to be unlocked. But if you don't want to set it up, of course you can skip to the next step if you don't feel secure with it or just don't want to add it. But if you do, then go to Play Store and go to search. Then search for Google Wallet or Google Pay. It'll be the same thing. Then click on install next to Google Wallet once it appears. And now I'm gonna wait until it gets installed. Of course, instead of Google Wallet, you can also use the Samsung Wallet, which is here. It's being downloaded at the moment, so I can't really access it. But the Samsung Wallet requires a Samsung account, which I don't really like. I don't have a Samsung account logged in on this phone, and I don't want to use it. So with the Google Wallet, you only need the Google account, which I think is way more useful to even have on your phone. That's why I don't have the Samsung account and I don't use the Samsung Wallet. And I'm gonna show you everything on an example of the Google Wallet. So let's see if it's getting installed. Okay, so it is installed, and let's get to the Google Wallet. Now wait a moment until it connects and click on Add to Wallet. Then select Payment Card. Now you can scan it with your phone's camera or enter the details manually. And once that's done, read everything what's written here and click on Save and Continue. Then you may need to verify with your bank via SMS, phone call, or the bank app. And once that's done, you will be able to pay with your phone in stores by simply opening the Google Wallet app once your phone is unlocked. And also, let's see if we can open it through the quick settings. So you can see if you slide down from the right top part of your screen, you will see the quick settings. We don't have wallet here, but if I click on Edit and click on Edit here, maybe the wallet will be somewhere here, but it's nowhere to be found, so most probably not. And in order to pay with Google Pay, you will need to open the app from the app drawer or from the home screen if you add it to the home screen by pressing and holding, then clicking on Add to Home. Now let's set the wallpaper. I think that lots of the people set the wallpaper, so it's gonna be quite useful. And as your wallpaper, you can set something provided by Samsung, but I think the best one is your personal one. So you can download something from the internet. You may use something that was transferred from your previous device, or take a photo now. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take a photo now and set it as my wallpaper. Okay, so the photo was just taken, and let's get to settings. Now in the settings, go to the wallpapers and style. And now you can click on change wallpapers. Then, as I've said, you can select something from Samsung or go to gallery. And from gallery, select the photo that you want. You can select up to 15 and they will change at a certain interval, but I will choose only one, so it's a static wallpaper. Then click on Done and select where to apply, either lock screen or home screen or both. I'm gonna apply it only to the lock screen, then click on Next. And if you've selected the lock screen, then you can customize the lock screen as well. And for it, you can change the clock. I think it's pretty cool that you can change the font here. For some of these fonts, you can also change its thickness. But for this one, I can't. But I really like this font, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Then you can adapt the color to wallpaper or select any of those colors. Or select from here. Let's see if maybe this one will be suitable. No, it isn't. No, I have a hard time finding the right color, so maybe let's select just the one suited for the wallpaper. And you can also change the style of the clock. I think they are also pretty cool. Yeah, I think the first one is great. You can enable weather information, and date above clock or below clock. I prefer it below clock. You can also change these shortcuts right here, so you can replace the phone with, for example, a flashlight, and the camera with, I'm gonna leave the camera. Then frame can be also added to make your wallpaper a bit more interesting. I think this frame will suit my wallpaper. By the way, you can also resize your wallpaper so it doesn't have to have all these things in the edges. I think that's great. You can add widgets as well, but I'm not gonna dive too deep into that. Then effects also can be added, and I think this one is great. You can also change the color of it. I'm gonna stick to that orange, and let's apply that. Then apply the wallpaper, and you can see it looks really great. I really like it actually. Let's go now to the next thing, which is battery. And in the battery, you can find battery protection, and I highly recommend having that enabled. And if you can, set it to adaptive. Click on OK, and it'll be on. Sometimes it will require you to log into the Samsung account. I don't really know why that happens and why that happens only sometimes, but if it requires you, then just set it to basic and don't bother. Or if you want to log in with the Samsung account, then log in with it and you'll be able to set it to adaptive. And I highly recommend the adaptive charging because it learns your charging patterns and charging habits and adjusts the charging patterns accordingly. So if you plug your phone every day at night, then it'll learn the hours that it's plugged in. And for example, if you plug it in at 8 p.m., then it'll start charging at a slow rate and charge up to 80%, then pause the charging and resume about an hour before you're expected to wake up, then still charge at a slow rate, and it'll reach about 100% shortly before you're expected to unplug your phone, so it doesn't overcharge overnight. And now let's get to the last thing, if it's available, because it not always shows, which is sliding down from the left top part of your screen and finish setting up your device. This is the notification that not always shows at the very beginning, but maybe after a few days it will show up in your case as well. So let's finish setting up the device. Here will be just a few things that probably already have been asked during the normal setup, and I don't really understand this notification. It really just asks the things that have been asked, but let's continue with it so that notification doesn't bother us anymore. And now it asks you if you want to copy apps and data from your previous device, and you've probably been asked about it already. So if you don't want to do it, then you can skip it. Don't worry, you can do that later with the Smart Switch app. And if you don't know how, I've recorded a video on how to transfer files from your previous device onto your Samsung Galaxy A26, but it's pretty intuitive, so just don't worry about it. You can skip it here, but if you do wanna transfer these files, feel free to do it. Now it tells you about the Gemini, which is an AI assistant that replaces Google Assistant, which was there previously, but now it not only has the capabilities of the Google Assistant, but also has capabilities of an AI chat like ChatGPT or a Copilot. It's just sort of a similar thing, but in a different name. And also, it can do the same things as Google Assistant could in the past. So it's great. You just need to click on More and continue. Then if you want to use Gemini hands-free by saying "Hey Google" out loud without pressing any buttons, you can turn it on. If you don't, then click on No Thanks. I'm gonna turn it on actually. Then if you want to sign in to the Samsung account, you can do it, but I don't want to do it, so let's click on don't have an account, then set up later in settings and click on skip. And now the setup process was just completed. All that I wanted to show you in this video is done, so that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.